Hi, my loves. Welcome back to the Starscartel channel. If you don't know, I'm Star. The message I heard is I wish. The scripture comes from Sirach 34:7. For dreams have led many astray, and they have failed by putting their hope in them. Without lying, the law will be accomplished, and wisdom is perfection to a faithful mouth. God said for somebody, stop living in a fantasy world. You are constantly sitting around thinking about things that you wish would happen. You wish this would happen. You wish that would happen. You wish this, you wish that. Stop doing that. Even when it comes to like the Sims game, I love the Sims. Y'all already know I love the Sims game. There are moments in time where I take a break from the Sims because I don't like living in no fantasy world. And you know, sometimes I'll play it and then I'll be like, you know what I'm saying? If I catch myself thinking I wish my life was like this, it's time to pause. Because why can't my life be like that? When you a kid, okay. When you an adult, come on now. You make it happen. Make it happen, Captain. Make it happen. And I feel like that's the message for whoever this is for. Stop living in a fantasy world. Stop thinking, I wish this, I wish that, I wish this, I wish that. God said the time is now. It's time to make your dreams a reality. It's time to stop living in a fantasy world. It's time to make your dreams a reality, baby. Bring that to life. Do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? And it's not to say that we can't pray to God and we can't pray that God will help us. Yeah, God gonna help us, but you got to put in some work. You know what I'm saying? Do the things that you need to do to make your dreams a reality. And then you ain't gonna have to be sitting around saying, I wish, I wish, I wish, I wish. Like, you know what I'm saying? Even if you just doing a little bit every day, eventually your results, you're gonna see them. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just like, even if somebody was to lay a brick down once a day, one brick a day, eventually you're gonna have a wall. You know what I'm saying? And then you can move on to the next wall. And you can move on to the next wall. Like, you know what I'm saying? Eventually you're going to be done. It's going to take longer because you only laying down one brick. But, you know, another thing to think about is eventually you going to be like, you know what? I think I'm going to lay down 2 today. You know what? I think I might do 3. I'm going to do 4. You know, I would do a whole row. Eventually, you gonna get there. God said, but you gotta at least be taking a step or putting some kind of effort. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be putting forth some kind of effort in order to see results. You can't expect to see results and you ain't doing nothing. Where are the results coming from? How do you expect to see results? That's just like somebody that want to learn how to cook. You ain't gonna learn how to cook unless you actually put forth effort to start cooking. Yeah. Okay. I know I didn't learn how to cook just watching my mama do it. I didn't learn how to cook watching my daddy do it. My daddy actively said, come on, come help me make the pancakes. Come on, let's make some gumbo. Come on, let's fry some fish. You know what I'm saying? That's how you learn. Like, you don't learn from just sitting around twiddling your thumbs. You learn from actively doing things. And I know that there are some people that can read books and learn. And you know, I got gardening books and stuff like that. But I'm gonna be real and say that I learned the most from actively gardening. I learned the most from actively helping somebody that had a garden and learning, okay, this is how you make a garden bed. Okay, so they have different kinds of garden beds. Okay, this is how you mix the soil. Okay, this is how you put a greenhouse together. Okay, this is how you this is how you transplant things. This is how you grow things from seed. This is how you do. This is how I was able to learn, because the books only gonna tell you so much. The videos on YouTube can only show you so much. There are things that you have to learn over time. And then, you know, on top of that, like I said, gardening is not something that's just one day you throw the seeds and then you done. You have to learn about nutrients. You got to know how to mix the nutrients. You got to know how, you know what I'm saying, all of these fertilization, all of these things, you have to know about these things. Because cucumbers is not, you can't just put the cucumber seed in the ground and expect that you're going to get cucumbers. Because if you only got boy plants, then guess what? Where your cucumber, you're not going to have no cucumbers. You got to have some girls too. You know what I'm saying? If all the flowers is boy flowers, then you ain't going to get none. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have a mixture. And this is something that you can only learn from experience, because for the most part, even if you read that over in the books, it can be very confusing because you don't really know what you're supposed to do. You don't really understand. We living in a time where the bees are disappearing, so they ain't really doing their job the way that we, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just being real. God said, if this is what you want, then he want to see some work. He want to see some effort. Even if you just read one page of the book every day, you getting better. You learning more. You know what I'm saying? Versus just not doing nothing at all. God said, stop sitting around daydreaming and wishing and hoping. God said he wants to see you putting forth some effort. And as you are working on your effort and you're learning more and you're getting closer, you keep taking steps. You're not going to get there if you ain't walking. You can't expect, you know what I'm saying, you sitting in a chair and saying, you know what I'm saying, you want to go over there. And you just sit in the chair. How you expect to get there? You think the chair is gonna float? You know, you not. You know what I'm saying? You're not the Almighty. Now God, on the other hand, he have angels. He has angels at his left hand, angels at his right hand. They carry him around to where he feel like he want to go. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like this is somebody you going to have to put some work in. God said you're going to have to roll up your sleeves and you're going to have to put in some work. It's not going to be a situation where everything is just going to magically happen. And that's just real. And that's the message. God said it's not going to do that. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna do it. That's even with my garden right here. It may seem to y'all like I don't have to do nothing. But as quiet as it's kept, I have to put water in here. I have to measure out the nutrients. It's not a situation where I can just let it do its thing. I do have a set timer on there, but that's about it. I still have to water my plants. I still have to go and ensure that ain't nothing trying to eat up my peppers and my lettuce. And you know what I'm saying? Anything worth having is not going to just come so easy. And I don't know who that's for. I don't know what it is that you're trying to do. I don't know what it is that you're trying to work toward. But you can't expect it to just come so easy. Even if you want a husband, there's still, you got to put in some kind of work. Are you a wife? You know what I'm saying? You have to, like, are you the kind of wife that your husband would want? Think about it. Think about it. Go back and read my book, Proverbs 31 Woman, Becoming the Proverbs 31 Woman. Are you the kind of woman that the husband that you desire will want? Okay? And you know what I'm saying? Simultaneously, likewise for the men. Are you the kind of man, the wife that you want is going to want? You know what I'm saying? What kind of man does the woman that you want? And it's real easy for us to just say, well, I want somebody that's just going to want me for me. I just want somebody that's going to like me exactly the way that I am. But you know what I'm saying? That's not always good. Oh, Lord. Okay. You can't just expect that it's just gonna pop up out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like for whoever this is for, God said it's gonna take some elbow grease from you. It's gonna take some work from you. It's gonna take some effort from you. It's not gonna be a situation where it's just gonna happen. It's not gonna just happen. You know what I'm saying? You can say that you want an omelet and cry about it. You can fall out on the floor, kick and scream, but it's not going to be there until you cook it. You know what I'm saying? Or at least go and buy it, or go pay somebody that do know how to cook it, or find somebody that know how to cook it. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, it's not going to just happen. You know, even with that, you got to cut up the bell peppers and the onions, and you got to get them together. You got to get your seasonings right, and you got to get the cheese. And if you're going to use shredded cheese, you got to get your shredded cheese. If you're going to use regular cheese, you got to get the cheese right. You got to put forth some effort. You have to put forth some effort. It's not going to just happen. And that's the message. God says, stop sitting around daydreaming and with your head in the clouds, and you just sitting around thinking to yourself, oh, if I just had this, and if my body was like that, and if I had this car, if I had that car, if only this, if only that. God said, put forth effort. And for some of y'all, the effort is just as little as you asking the right questions to the right people. Sometimes that's all the effort you need. Sometimes the effort is you putting in a little work, putting in some overtime at work or something like that. Sometimes the effort is not even as much as you think it is. But if you don't even, like, you got to do something. You can't just expect it to happen on its own. And that's the message. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Deuces.